was an interesting moment for me at the time because I really wasn't seeking someone or anyone, I should say. I just hoped if I did meet someone that they would be a positive person to meet. Everything he was saying and doing was making me fall in love with him.
A lot of people quit going, that's just how it got to be. But she keeps on fighting and it takes a lot of guts. No justice, no peace!
You two are like two immature cartoon characters.
Objection. Where's any of this evidence of this?
Order.
I'm sanctioning you for $15,000.
I have a right to see my son.
This is all about a child. A poor boy born into a battle.
This is not justice! No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! No peace! No justice!
You're trying to have a judge removed.
I'll sanction her for thousands of dollars for coming to court.
How much money is Mr. K-Man, Mr. Gee paying you and your fellow judges to keep this woman away from her child?
Said I'm gonna survive, I gotta survive. Even with your lies, I'm gonna survive, gotta survive. Said I'm gonna survive, I gotta survive. Even with your lies, I've gotta survive, gonna survive. Said I'm gonna survive, I'm gonna survive. Even with your lies.
This is the Dr. Meleeka Clary Show. Dr. Meleeka Clary is a clinical psychologist, actress, director, model, and human rights activist. On this program, Dr. Meleeka guides you toward a more fulfilling life through the power of positive psychology. And now, please welcome your host, Dr. Meleeka Clary.
Welcome to the Dr. Meleeka Clary Show on, well, I always get confused. It's Screaming oh gosh. I'm having a moment on Sweet Recordings. You know what's so funny? Because I was about to say Bold and Brave TV and I forgot we changed. So there you go. I had that moment. All right. Oh my gosh. It's so funny. Today's been just crazy. So we're trying to figure out all this technical stuff sometimes. So I've been trying to deal with that. And I have a guest today, but I have to get him on. I think we're trying to find him right now and, make sure that he gets on the show. So I have to say that. So that's what I'm doing right now. So I'm trying to navigate. It's all new changes, but sometimes, changes is good. It's just that we always have little difficulties here and there. So, yes. So with that being said, and I have other things, I'm looking at. I want to say, first of all, it's what, Thursday. I'm okay to have a moment. Friday will be coming soon. I'm here. Okay, he's here. I'm sitting here just trying to navigate through all this. So bear with me, audience. Bear with me. You know what? I want to say thank you to all my fans for checking out Three Corners of Deception. That's still available on Prime Video. Also tuning into the show as well. I am really, thrilled about that. And I thank you for all of that. And I really appreciate that. I think, people that support me, I really, really appreciate you all because, it's one thing is difficult when you start new platform or you start anything in your life, you just appreciate people. And sometimes I think we forget about those people. And I want to make sure that my fans and even friends and whoever, when you share something, I appreciate you. When you support me and you see what I'm doing and then you share the message, I appreciate that because I think that is so important that that somebody's listening. And it is applied to your life. You know, I bring guests on my show to teach you something, but also know a little bit about them, you know, and what they do. Because I think it's important. Sharing is caring. I want people to know that it's almost like that little sling, I got your back. You know, I got your back. I want to help you. And I want to educate you. But one thing that I always tell people, me helping you, don't take something and run. You know, take it and share it. Okay? Because that's what I do. I take it and I share it because I want everyone knowledgeable. And I know there's people that would just, you know, use the person to get information. I don't mind being used. Just share the information. That's all I'm asking you. Because I don't want to keep hearing people say, well, you know, how do you do this? Or you don't want to share this information. I've started sharing information with people and I've been doing this for years. But I get tired of people saying they never known how to do something because somebody didn't show them how to do it. But be grateful and kind to the people that do go out of their way to help you and to share the information or give you information. Even like I said, I utilize my platform as informative information because it's stuff that you may not know. And somebody else may went to school, you know, or, you know, they have the experience to share that information, but it was their experience and they started from the bottom. And I feel that it's good to not say, okay, you're going to start from the bottom. I'm actually going to help you. You know, you good. I'm going to help you get to that best, you know, life that you want, or at least give you the information so you could be successful, whatever you do with it. Because sometimes people get information and you don't know what they're going to do with it, but at least people are willing to share, you know what I mean? And I think that is so important. And I want you to understand that's what I do. And I care, you know, I care about helping other people and I care about people knowing some information. But don't use somebody. Just get the information and share it with somebody else. So don't be that secretive person. Don't be that secretive person and don't share that information. You know, be the person that shares caring because Dr. Meleeka Clary said it's okay to share information, but it's also okay to help somebody else. And some people may take advantage of people that help you. Well, shame on those people. But, you know, then I guess that's how those individuals, don't be mad at that. Just move on and keep doing what you're doing. And that's why I do what I do. I care about everyone. When I say everyone, I don't have to know you to care about you. Like, I don't know you personally, but I do know when I don't know something and how I feel left out about it. And I feel empty. And then I know the information of something that somebody else feel empty or distraught or stressed out because they don't know how to do something. We take the time to educate somebody else for something they don't know. I think we'll be better off. But people, when I tell you, if somebody takes the time to help you out, don't abuse their time and don't take advantage of them. Don't be a taker. Be a sharer and be grateful. And that's the only thing I can ask for anyone, because we do this and we do this because we like helping people. I'll tell you, I'm pro bono, but no one wants to be taken advantage either. And you just don't, well, lie to just to get information from somebody or to get them to help you or trick you. You don't have to do that, people. There's a lot of people that will help and just be like, hey, I don't want nothing, whatever. But you really could just, the only thing I say, if somebody treats somebody like somebody treated you by giving you the information that you didn't know or helped you, just remember that. Remember the help and remember the people that do it, because not everybody thinks like that. So starting with getting information and sharing and helping somebody else. Caring, compassion goes far. So with that being said, I'm going to take a brief commercial. When I get back, I'm going to bring in my amazing guests. And, you know, I know a lot about him, things that he do. and right up in my field because he's all up in the law too, and entertainment law. So when I get back, I will introduce you and bring him on the show. But until then, I'm going to take a brief commercial, and I'll be right back with the Dr. Meleeka Clary Show, powered by Sweet Recordings. Woo! I'll be right back. Don't you go nowhere.
Dr. Meleeka Clary is an award-winning director, actor, model, paralegal, clinical psychologist, and YouTuber who focuses on raising public awareness of judicial deception and the importance of mental health. Clary has won several accolades and awards for 3 corners of deception, including Best Human Rights Director and Best Female Director at the Toronto International Women's Film Festival. She joined HMWP Psychology Counseling in 2019 and has since been creating content for YouTube. Dr. Clary's work has been praised for its insights into the criminal mind, and she continues to be an outspoken advocate for justice.
And I wanted to do the show, which I was asked to do so, but I had to do it my way. And my way is this: I want to know, who are you? I mean, I could tell you what I am. I'm a filmmaker, I'm an actress, I'm a mom, I'm a doctor. But who am I? Who do I identify myself as to myself? You have a lot of people walking around here and they don't know who they are. Mm-hmm. And that's what it's about. It's who are you? Because I interview celebrities, I interview doctors, lawyers, average folks. I mean, you could be a nurse, it doesn't matter. I'm going to interview, but I'm not just going to interview about you. I'm going to interview, who are you to you? Who do you identify yourself? Because believe it or not, that's a very interesting question. And a lot of times it's hard to answer.
Absolutely.
A lot of people don't understand that.
You're a clinical psychologist.
Yes.
Filmmaker.
Yes.
Actress.
Yes.
Model.
Yes.
How do you find the time to everything?
Well,
it's amazing. Many congratulations with everything.
Thank you. I think life, that's what it is. I mean, I'm 50, so I have a lot of life there. So experiences and challenges and, things I wanted to do in life.
I just love, I can feel the passion of that you have for your work. Yes. I can feel that. And you and I have only just met this morning. Mm-hmm. But you have so much involvement with people, your patients, clients, and you love it, don't you? You really do.
I do.
Dr. Meleeka Clary Show. Welcome back, fam. Welcome back. Welcome back. Okay, so before I went on break, I was telling we had some technical issues, but back. Okay. I have a wonderful guest. You know what? All my guests are wonderful. I believe that totally. But you know what? He's an entertainment lawyer, attorney. And I just was like, wow, I really like that because I know a lot about the entertainment, but I can imagine what he knows because it's something he wants to do. And I already had a passion for it because, the law, people, I love that law. Okay. So I'm glad he decided to be a guest on my show. But not even just that, he's an attorney. He does so much for people. But I really want to know about him. And he got like this famous name, but here it's not him. That's why I say attorney Mike Myers. Come on in here. Come on in here. How you doing, Mike?
I'm doing great. I've had just the most amazing month. I never would have seen this coming, but it came, and it's a really good thing. There was a movie that was done a couple years ago called Kung Fury with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Michael Fassbender, and it kind of blew up. And so we represent the Chinese finance in it. And it really reminds me of what my father used to do with Run Run Shaw back a generation ago. My father had been lucky enough to be brought in by Jules Stein and Lou Wasserman to MCA Universal, where one of his first deals was there was a prince from Europe that wanted to marry into Hollywood royalty, and they had thoughts about Marilyn Monroe, and my father's team represented Grace Kelly, and all of a sudden MCA Universal was in Europe, and there were James Bond movies, and that involved a whole process. And we've been going through that relationship with international clients in China, Vietnam, Thailand, Mongolia.
Wow.
We're now doing a $35 million film, and we're planning to bring it to New Mexico and bring it into Indian country and really completely up the game of everything for tribal entertainment. So yeah, I've done a lifetime of entertainment law,
Well,
and I can
thank
tell
you.
you everything more.
Wow. And you know what? I appreciate that introduction. That is wonderful. But you know what, Mike? We talked about this. I have some questions to ask you
Yes.
because I know what you do and I love what you do. Believe me, Indian tribes, I love it. I love it. I love it. Find out what is available for, tribal. And I love the law school you're developing. I love that too. The concept is just wonderful. But here's the thing about it. And I know you're an entertainment lawyer. I want to know, who do you identify yourself to you?
Well, more and more, I've been, looking at my father's inspiration, but, spiritually, I've always believed you could do the impossible. And for me, the greatest motivator was a man named Dan Shepler. And he was one of the leaders in the healing rooms movement. So in 2005, we went into Mindanao and we started 450 charismatic ministries in a Muslim area. And after that, we helped seed another 6,500 entities in India. And what he used to always say is, if you could do only one thing and you knew you couldn't fail, what would you want to do? And when we know that through God all things are possible, that's a great place to start. And from both a spiritual and a secular point of view, finding people that have been touched with some kind of a dream or vision and finding a way to sow into that and co-partner with them, with the belief that between the gifts of the Spirit and the skills of our team, nothing should be impossible.
Yeah. Well, I love that. Thank you for sharing that. One thing I will say, and everyone has this belief mechanism. My platform is about positive psychology and things we do. And I'm not, well, my norm is not somebody else's norm, especially when you talk about religion. And I was brought up in Christian, and that is my mechanism. I pray and I stay close to that. What is your religion, your mechanism for religion?
Well, I was raised kind of atheistic Jewish, so to me that was a culture and a behavior and a respect for people and integrity and character. But I reached a point where I went through managing a public company that crashed, and I ended up taking 3 altar calls uh, Easter Sunday in 2002, and I ended up going to a charismatic seminary that was part of the Vineyard Group and getting 2 masters and 2 doctorates in theology. And so I become personally a strong Christian Pentecostal. I champion the healing movement. I believe in laying on of prayers, and I've seen uh, uh, inoperable brain tumors cured and all kinds of miracles in other people. But I was also dead twice, and I'm not now. And to me, that's one of my personal favorite miracles, is continuing to be alive when the enemy called for checkout time, and God said, no, we're apparently going to keep him in the game anyway.
Wow. You said, now I want to get to that. You were dead twice, huh? What kind of challenges if you, I mean, I'm sure this was a challenge, but I'm going into my next question here. If you could share just that one challenge you ever needed, or something happened to you and you didn't know what was going to happen, could you? I'm like,
Sure.
whoa, dead
Well,
twice.
specifically,
Why don't you elaborate?
I had this pain here, and I'd been a smoker, so I figured it was a smoking thing because I didn't know what this was. But apparently, my right coronary artery was shut down for 24 hours, and I had a Jacob's Ladder dream, and everybody said the possibility of surviving this is 0. And when I ended up at the doctor 24 hours later, they said, we can't tell why you're alive. And after 3 days in the hospital, the woman comes around with the electrocardiogram and said, Mr. Meyer, from what you have, we can't figure out why you're alive, but no matter what, you're going to have massive, permanent, irreversible tissue damage. And if you want to piss off a doctor at Cedars-Sinai, just say, I don't receive that in the name of Jesus Christ, and they will hate you forever. But she spent 15 minutes looking for any traces of the trauma to my heart, and apparently there was none. And then I re-experienced that in 2009 when the doctors kind of came in and were rushing and upset about a number of things and asking if I was in pain. And apparently for a couple minutes while I was saying, I'm okay, don't worry, I'm covered, I was flatlining, sitting up, and arguing. So I always figured that that's an ethnic Jewish characteristic, to be able to be legally dead and still sitting up and arguing.
Oh my goodness. That is like, oh my goodness. I don't even know what to say. I mean, wow. I'm like, you know what? I have another question for you, but I'm going to take a brief commercial. We'll be right back with the Dr. Meleeka Clary show. Do not go nowhere, fam. We'll be right back with the amazing, handsome Mike Myers, attorney Mike Myers.
Thank you.
Can you tell us about your show, the Dr. Meleeka Clary show?
Okay, well, the Dr. Meleeka Clary show on Bold and Brave TV, that is about identification of oneself. So it helps people to start talking and communicating how you feel, what's going on, but not just that. Because that's how depression happens. That's how anxiety happens. Because we're not talking anymore until something really happens. When I ask people about the identification of oneself, I start asking you, what about challenges in your life? Can you tell me, how did you get through it? Because we got many people out there that doesn't understand, like, okay, you're just like me. Well, let me tell you, you are. I don't care what color you are.
Right.
You're still a human being, and you're still, you know, you go through challenges, but show me or explain to me, how did you get through it? And some people come with stories just like, oh my goodness, I can't believe you went through it. But here's my viewers, you're just like me. And that helps other people to say, hey, you know what, I'm gonna attack this. I'm gonna stay in this life one day at a time. If that person can go through it and get through it, I can too.
Oh, look at this huge group here. They look fantastic, especially this guy at the back here. Look at this. Look at this. Look, ta-da, ta-da. Oh! Get off my... Yeah, I was like, oh, get off my foot. Tell us about you guys.
Well, they're from Boston. I'm from Indianapolis. We're here with Three Corners of Deception movie. Here's the director right here, Dr. Meleeka Clary. I'm Will Garth, the cinematographer. Our movie can be found on Amazon Prime. We have some of the actors and cast. We got Lance Lacconi, the promoter, executive producer. These are also her daughters, her sister, her friend. We're all here. We're all big family.
We are family. Wow.
Production manager, actress, all in the movie Three Corners of Deception. Hello, promoter Lance Lacconi. Say hello. Hello.
He's the Godfather, right?
I know, the Godfather.
Welcome back to the Dr. Meleeka Clary show. We are still with the amazing attorney Mike Myers. Come on in here, Mike. Welcome back.
Thank you,
You know, there's a couple of things, a couple of people you look like. I mean, actually, one, Danny DeVito. With that look, you look like Danny DeVito. Have you heard that one before?
I've had people ask me for his resume, and I wish but I'm not.
And now here's another thing. I say attorney Mike Myers because if I put Mike Myers, people will be thinking, oh, Mike Myers on the show.
It used to be my Halloween costume. I would literally just take the ad out of Variety and say Mike Myers and the box office gross. And obviously the International Man of Mystery was a better thing for the name. It sort of repatriated a little bit of it. But, you know, I grew up with a father who represented FCA Universal, and at times he was a bit aggressive. And so in those days, as a young lawyer, I used to refer to the first Mike Myers as my younger, kinder brother. But I've mellowed.
Well, I just have to say that. So with that being said, oh, I think I disappeared for a second. I'm back. All right. You know, okay, so before we left on break, we was talking about you had explained challenges and things that you went through. Let me ask you, when that happened, did that change your mindset? I mean, because telling someone that story, being dead twice, did you feel different, like after, like you got another chance to accomplish more things, or it wasn't your time? What was going through your mind during that time?
Sure. And ironically, it started April Fool's Day 2005. And I had the Jacob's Ladder experience where there was the angel was ascending and descending and the discussion. And it's like he's going back. And I'd always been media and entertainment oriented, but I'd never really been as financially oriented. So I woke up in 2005 out of nowhere with this fascination with insurance, and I started to hear about Craig Hampton and private placement life insurance and risk retention. And I had a chance to associate with Dennis Gilbert, who is probably the top insurance guy ever in Beverly Hills. And with him, we brought several dozen churches and ministries into a program that they were doing at the time where we were using the insurance to support end times ministry. And that seemed like such a crazy thing to do. And I went up to this one meeting where I wasn't supposed to go there because I was busy. And I was going to meet a guy that wasn't going to go, but he showed up anyway and was sitting in back of me. And he wanted me to meet a guy that wasn't going to come, but he was in the hallway. And then they ended up playing a tape for me by a fellow named John Paul Jackson, who said, one day this fellow's going to walk into your office and he's going to have this whole concept of funding end times ministry with insurance. And if you'd ever said I was going to have an opinion either on end times ministry or insurance, I would have said, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not that guy. But from the 2005 dreams, when I got to that moment in 2006, I knew exactly what it was, and that there was a way to finance ministry, which expanded into what we've done in starting 7,000 ministries worldwide. And domestically, we started with the Haven community, with Word of God International and several downtown churches around Fegan Square, and the Fegan family, which Joshua Smith is now the leader of Word of God International and Loving to Learn and all those ministries. And we've expanded those into Indian country with the whole Haven community. And having never, as a guy that could barely balance a checkbook, we've now started insurance and banking groups to help finance South Central, Indian country, and an expanding group through the Haven Community Office.
Wow, that's amazing. You know what? My other question to you, what made you want to be an entertainment lawyer?
Basically, growing up with a father who'd been general counsel to MCA, Jules Stein is my godfather, the founder of MCA Universal. The guys that pushed my dad into it were, Sarnoff, who started RCA and NBC, and David Lowe, who Lowe's owned MGM. So my dad started MGM 48 to 53. And then, watching entertainment my whole life, that was sort of all I really knew growing up. And my father always said, what do you want to do when you grow up? And I said, I either want to be a community planner and design how these things should be in real life, or a movie and share the vision of what they should look like. And it never occurred to me I could actually do both, that I could be legal and community planning and the ministry version and the media version all at the same time.
Yeah, yes, you can wear a lot of hats. It's just don't burn out. Okay, and here's my next question, because you've mentioned so much, and I love everything that you said and what you do, because I know entertainment law, and I think for me, I went to law school about a year and then took a break, and so don't know if I'm coming back, but I finished my doctorate. But paralegal, yes, love the law, but that was what it triggered me too, is entertainment law, is because I feel like a lot of entertainers, when they sign contracts, they really, I think they get burned. Nice word to say it, they get burned, right? And
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
I think
you can easily get burned just in general. And, as a guy that believes in supporting marginalized people groups, which we've had with the indigenous groups, we've had with our urban groups, and now we've got this with several foreign groups, where, I can see we're up against a traditional financial bulwark of resistance to the opportunity to have these incredible people sowing into the world, multiculturalism, intellectual growth, academic stuff, and the fact that we can represent tribal nations and represent ethnicities and work with people that really want to change the ability to communicate on a more sophisticated level. I never imagined the level of resistance that we would encounter, and I'm continually shocked by how difficult they like to make it to do anything that's going to involve meaningful change. And you look, especially in the last couple of weeks, at the world just kind of pushing back on people trying to make a difference. And it becomes so much more serious and so much more important that we resist the invitation to say, this is too much, this is exhausting, this is debilitating. But if we don't do it, who's going to do it? And if we don't do it now, we're going to run out of time.
Yeah. Absolutely. And let me just paraphrase what I said. It's not just celebrities, but people in general. But I just hear a lot of, celebrities having issues, especially all types of artists, is because of the contracts. I think because, and I would say this for anybody, when you want something, you feel like, oh yeah, you're glad to get it. Even if it's a record deal, even if it's, an acting deal, or even if it's a house, you're just happy. But contracts are so important for people to understand, because it's supposed to work for the people who's actually giving you something. So, and it's supposed to work for the people who's getting something. But when you think about contracts, think about how beneficial it is for the person who's giving you something. So, of course, it's going to be something in there that is going to be enticing for them. So that's the thing about that. And I'm glad that we have entertainment lawyers like yourself, because I'm sure you see stuff like that. I'm sure that comes up.
And it's not just the contracts. And we're dealing with a situation where these people paid for a film. They were dealing with high-end, self-impressed people. And they said, pay us, but we don't even have to give you the elements of the film. We're going to sue you to pay us, but we don't want to deliver the film because you're foreign guys. We don't have to take you seriously. Our client had done 1,000 hours of television and was well contracted. But there's certain powers that be that still want to just step on people, and it's heart gut wrenching to see it, and you don't want to see the heartbreak of people putting their whole life into creating something that's going to be world changing, and then just some fat cat just stepping on you and saying you don't matter, you don't even deserve to have this conversation, and when we haven't been able to have it face to face, we have people like you in the media that we can take it to. And we have courts where we can go take a decision. And even when the court system malfunctions at the lower level, we still are going to have War Chief TV and things like that, where we will be able to tell our story on a world to world, sovereign to sovereign type basis, and have an impact and really change all of this bias against. Like I said, I don't understand the bias. I thought we were all on the same team. But apparently some of us have to work a little harder for a little bit of recognition.
Oh, wow. You said it wonderfully. And I'm glad that you said platforms, voice, people, if the judicial system's not doing it, hey, we'll take it to the platforms like myself, like the Dr. Meleeka Clary show. We're going to make sure somebody gets heard up in here.
The whole Haven concept is you have to be aligned at the vision, power, legislative level, at the resource financing, paying for it, at the legal level, at the operations level, at the asset management and development level, the educational level, and of course, media. That is being able to tell the story of how we move through the vision, how we, figure out how to resource our problems, how we get the ability to have the oversight and the compliance and the rules to make things work, and then the knowledge and understanding of logistics and operations when the rubber hits the road, and putting together assets, and then putting together a team, recreating the whole hero's journey and bringing that to a story where we can tell a success story because we've done our work, we've done our preparation, we've pressed into our relationship with God, and God has really delivered a miracle in every fight that we have, because everybody we're fighting is way bigger than us. They all have an order of magnitude more money than we do.
Yeah.
And we're still doing what God called us to do. And we get to watch that success despite all odds because we're in the right place at the right time and we're lucky enough to have those blessings. And, part of, for me, the change in being dead twice is I knew I wasn't on my time anymore. I was here basically for what he wanted me to do. And I try to do that as tirelessly as I can. And at 68, I got to tell you, sometimes I still get tired and I still get my butt kicked and get a little frustrated sometimes. But, you dust yourself up and you know why you're here. And that what matters is not how many times you get kicked down, but how many times you get up and how much fervor you bring every time you come back into the battle.
That's right. Ooh, well said. I love that you said that. And 68, yeah, right. Okay. And on that note, we are going to be right back with the Dr. Meleeka Clary Show. And we are still with the amazing and handsome attorney Mike Myers. We'll be right back.
Tell me about the podcast, why you decided to do that.
Well, one thing about that is many people do not understand the identification of oneself. And I thought that was very important. I know that there's many people out there that are like lawyers, doctors, judges, celebrities, whatever the case may be, but they are a human being. And I always want to know, who do you identify yourself as? And I think that's so important.
But it's about life. It's about things that happen. And I'm a person, a human being. We share that in common. I'm not perfect and I don't act like I am. I have to explain my challenges and my testimonies and things that I went through or I go through. Every day is a challenge. I have to stress that because today you get up and you're like, oh, wow, this is great. But there is days it's not so great. And you know what? That is life. Sometimes it's a pause in your daily task or things that you want to complete that day, and you just get hit with a curveball and you got to figure out what you're going to do. And that's what life is all about.
Our movie can be found on Amazon Prime. We have some of the actors and cast. We got Lance Laccone, the promoter, executive producer. These are also her daughters, her sister, her family. We're all here. We're all big family.
We are family. Wow.
Production manager, actress, all in the movie, three-quarters Inception. Hello, promoter, Lance Laccone. Say hello. Hello.
He's the Godfather, right?
I know, the Godfather. Yes, he is.
Well, congratulations and enjoy.
The Dr. Meleeka Clary Show is on Bold and Brave TV network. That's a global broadcaster show everywhere. Now, what it is about the identification of oneself. And I ask that question because not many people identify who they are. You could do a lot of things in this world, but you don't know who you are. And it's not about you being a doctor. It's not about you being an actress or a celebrity or a server. It's about you being a person first. You have challenges in your life. And what do you go through? And what's your belief mechanism? What gets you up out of that bed? What makes you think? What makes you love yourself? Because some people, they don't. We're going to get to it.
Welcome back to the Dr. Meleeka Clary Show, where we're going live. Woo! I love it. I love it. We are still with the amazing attorney Mike Myers. Come on in here.
Hello. Really nice to be back.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm enjoying the show.
You looking good. Oh my gosh. I tell you, I feel like I am looking at Danny DeVito, though. I'm not gonna lie. And I love him. I do. I do. You know what? It's such a pleasure to have you and just listen to things that you're saying and the experience and sharing's caring. Like, I love that. But here, let me ask you this question with all the hats that you juggle and everything you do. What do you do for self-care?
Pray and jacuzzi. I don't know.
Ooh. Jacuzzi.
I literally moved a jacuzzi right next to the room where I do most of my work. And when I'm having a meltdown during the day, I take a little jacuzzi time. But I have not had enough balance in my life for the last year or two. But yeah, I do need to begin to slow down a little bit because I'm pushing a little harder than I would recommend anybody my age do.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm glad you said it, because I think some of us think that we have this time bomb. Like, you have to get this done at this time. You have to do this at this time. I think if we give ourselves a break sometime, look, okay, I will get that done. Now, don't get me wrong. If visibility need to be paid, you got to pay it before they cut it off. But when it's goals driven, oh, I need to get this kitchen. Okay, you will, little by little, just get it done. Just keep doing it. You know what I mean? And I think people need to understand that you're putting a limit on yourself when you're the one that started the party, you know? So if you wear yourself thin, then you don't have anything.
Yeah.
You can't, you understand what I'm saying? So you got to slow it down. And for you 68 already and then got there and still doing whatever, but is any of those times so enjoying?
Yeah.
I mean, and that's something that you also have to remember, is to enjoy what you're doing, because that's something that I always have to think about. I like what I do. I'm helping and I'm sharing information for people, and I want them to be grateful for that I'm doing that. I'm actually taking time to do that. We come on these platforms and pro bono or whatever the case may be, but the point is that someone is willing to help, and we're doing that so this world could be better. I know we can't make this completely perfect because we're not perfect, but we could try to contribute if we share the information and try to help other people. Now, you mentioned there's some people that just not good people. I get it. Some people are takers and shakers. I get it. But you know what? I think that if you had an experience with a bad person that is a taker and a shaker, then pray for them and move away from that situation, because that you can't change those type of people. They will change you by taking the good out of you.
And I think there's two aspects to that, and one, so there's maintaining a good attitude and then maintaining good strength. So the good strength part for me has been I have people that are very strong, on probiotic stuff, and then I had a large interest in both tribal and Asian herbal homeopathic type things, and I've seen with people other than prayer or in addition to prayer, coming in with healthier things where they're back to nature. And so we have a whole program we call agroecology, and we have a group called the First Nation Medical Board. And the First Nation Medical Board basically represents indigenous medicine in the United States, but also with the Maori and Mongolia and other cultures throughout the world. And so we have this tribal organization. We have 50 clinics. RFK Jr. is one of the patients of Scott Marsland and Pierre Corey. And the ability to find people that are unique thinkers and not replace anything, but to give people alternatives so that they can have an opportunity to look at things, study things. We can do independent review board clinical trials. So we could basically find answers from our own cultures, from other cultures, and in that relationship overlap, so that we can find the best minds, the best intentions. I would add the best prayer. Not everybody would, but holistically kind of put that all together, and it gives you the opportunity to recover more quickly from the hurdles and what we suffer in overcoming them.
Wow, thank you for sharing that information. I also want to ask you, now, what's a typical question when someone's looking for an entertainment lawyer? What's the kind of question they will ask you?
Well, I don't have typical clients. I mean, my clients are people that, for one reason or another, are in some kind of enormous trouble. And so they're going for something that would cost them an order of magnitude more than they plan to spend. And they need somebody that understands not just the legal side, but the whole integrated solution. So when we watched a group that had financed a movie and didn't get it, well, they need distribution, they need film completion, they need access to talent, they need access to editorial and animation and graphics. And really, I always say, when you go to a real battle, you really have to know everything about whatever you're going to do. And those are the kind of people that I generally help. When I was a 20-something, managing people like Dan Snyder and Heather O'Rourke and a lot of celebrities was terrific because most of it was getting them a job and setting a profile. Most of it now is massive falling apart. We don't know what to do. Crisis management.
Yeah.
And you over the growth in a career, you learn how to deal with all kinds of problems from all kinds of personalities, from all kinds of directions, and the ability to kind of integrate that prayerfully into a holistic response is what I try to offer. And the people who come to me, that's usually what they're looking for. So I want to do such and such, and I've been told it's impossible. And it comes back to my first question. If you could do one thing and you knew you couldn't fail, what would you want to do? And then, prayerfully going into what are all the areas you would have to cover to make that work, and then bring them all together and treating it as a campaign rather than as a problem.
Yeah, I love it. I love that. Thank you for sharing that information. Oh, it's so wonderful. Okay, we are going to go on a break. And you know what? We will be right back with the amazing attorney, Mike Myers. We'll be right back.
Actress, producer, writer, you've done so much leading you to Three Corners of Deception. This is an important role for you. What's that about?
The movie is about, judicial deception, but it's also a romance. It's girl meet boy, boy meet girl, or whatever the case may be. But, on a Memorial weekend, it was a wonderful moment. But unfortunately, things end differently. It's not that you know that person when you first meet a person. It's unfortunately that happens. But the movie was more than just that. Nothing that I would even think to think about.
Now, I always tell people communication is so important. If you are feeling a certain way, what's the best way? Accept it and talk about it. How do you feel about this situation? Talk about it. That's the best advice, is talk about how you're feeling about the situation. Whatever is bothering you, whatever's you're carrying that weight, talk about it. Because if you release it, you'll feel much better. You might think that, you're going to be judged. If you feel that someone else is in your family is keep on letting you know all the problems that have happened and they won't let it go, let them know so then you can let it go. Explain how you feel, that I'm letting that go. There was nothing I could have done. And if I did do something, mistakes happen. We all make mistakes, and that's what happened.
So what can you tell us about your upcoming film, Three Corners of Deception?
Well, Three Corners of Deception has been out publicly last year.
Okay. So
And
it's been out now.
actually, yes, it's been out last year, but it actually been on the film festival circuit globally for about maybe 2 years.
Wow.
86 recognitions all over the world. Wow. So it's on the IMDb, 8.0, something like that rating.
Yes,
so,
it's high.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, people like it.
The movie, it's about judicial deception, but it started with a romance and girl meet boy, but it didn't end like that. The motivation behind that was more basically judicial deception and trying to give awareness to people that, look, this is things that's happening and it shouldn't happen.
Welcome back to the Dr. Meleeka Clary Show. We are back, and we came right back with attorney Mike Myers. He is back. I just love it.
Thank you, Meleeka. Thank you.
You're welcome, my dear. You're welcome. It's such a pleasure to have you on the show. I will have to say that again. If it's you say there's I want to say not a typical question, but there's so many people are watching and are in the film industry, and they may have questions. First of all, looking for a entertainment lawyer.
I can't hear you.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I know that technology is something else. If people are looking for you how can they get in touch with you? You have a website information, because you're entertainment lawyer. I mean, people are like, hey, entertainment. Let me go and call this person. So if you could share that information too.
Well, everything is based on Haven. So Haven CMO, like Community Manager's Office, havencmo.org is the organization. So that makes it easy. Havenlaw.org is the law firm. So I am Mike at havenlaw.org. And if you want to see more about the groups, FirstNationMedicalBoard.com, TurtleHealingBandClinic.com, haven.edu.com. Media-wise, we're nativestars.com. But for me individually, Mike at havenlaw.org is the best way to reach me. And then we have just a backup, which is havenlaw.org@gmail.com.
Oh, okay. Now let me ask you, if it was something that you had like a quote and you could leave, individual thinking, is it something that you live by, a certain quote?
Well, there's a few, but my phrase about what do I think is important to do is I believe that it is our job to foster and finance relational, sustainable community. And so what I mean by that is to be the exhorters and the encouragers and the passing on of the fruit of the Spirit, and doing that in a tangible way. So there is both the prayer level, the care level, and the resourcing helping level to people where they'd like to work in communities, but everything has been separating everybody so much. And I look for people that have found a spiritual or a social or a cultural reason to come together in community. And if they have the basis of a community, I want to give them the strength to maintain that community, whether they're Maoris. And, there's a lot of these groups that I understand a little bit about their culture. I'm more aware of the fact that they have a culture, and it's not my goal to get into the details of that, but to support them to be able to communicate that, because my skill should be the support, the resourcing, the helping them expand their vision beyond what their limitations and fear was, and carrying that all the way through the operations, putting together the assets, putting together the team, delivering the message, and touching people's hearts.
Wonderful. Oh my goodness. Thank you for sharing that information. I really appreciate it. When I get a chance to speak to an entertainment lawyer, I always try to ask some questions, but I know we're running out of time. Only because, as a filmmaker, it's always good to know, what contracts, these non-disclosure of information, people sign them, and it seems to me later on, it doesn't even matter.
No.
Unfortunately, because you got people selling your story, live in the house with you, and with the quick buck, and then got protection with the non-disclosure. It's like, oh. So I don't even know how more effective are they. I mean, I have them with the movie and all that, but still, you still got some people that's still gonna do something bad and trust their luck and say, hey, I'm gonna try to get away with that. And I've had people that try to do some things in the movie, and we took care of it, got rid of them, because like you pay somebody to do something, it's like you're supposed to do that, but people get a little interested. And I'm so glad that I know the law and I had my contracts like bam. So they couldn't play, but unfortunately what they did is cut themselves out of the rest of the movie, which is like, that's how business go when you do something bad and you try to blackmail people, especially the entertainment industry. You got a lot of people trying to do that, and it's sad.
Well, I think what you see more is big law firms and big bullies. So we have this company, Creasun. They came in, they spent, upwards of $10 million to get stepped on, thrown away, called fraudsters. and for us to basically bring in resources from Indian country to try and right a wrong, get these people what they paid for, finish this movie, deliver it, and bring Indian country into sharing this vision. To the extent that people want to come in the United States, enjoy Hollywood, focus on Hollywood, all the good things that we believed about Hollywood. Hollywood may not be as supportive of these outsiders as it should be. But, having been third generation of I understand how it works, I think I have a unique opportunity as an entertainment lawyer to really help people like these Creason guys to achieve and do something spectacular that nobody expects us to do, no matter how much people try to step on us, marginalize us, tell us we're not big enough to matter. All of that messaging of we're big and we're old and we've been here forever, so you don't matter, is the opposite of what creativity and innovation is all about. So for me, fostering and financing intellectual communication, multiculturalism in community is an incredible opportunity. And I can't believe I'm as lucky as I am to have the opportunity I have to do that.
Oh, well, thank you. Great. I appreciate the information. Do you hear that? Share it and Karen, people. It was a wonderful time to have you as a guest on the Dr. Meleeka Clary show. So I'm so glad. I don't think I'll still be talking to you eventually. You know that. Because we got to know about the...
One of the things that we do to support our communities is we put together this Haven Law School, and it's not a traditional law school. We work with groups of nonprofits and communities and whatever, and say, pick the people that you'd like to make lawyers. We're not going to charge them a penny, but what we're going to have them do is do all the research for all the sponsorship groups so we can create our own benches with our own armies that are true believers, not bringing a bunch of, my partner says, you never want to bring a mercenary to a gunfight, because if the other guy offers him $10 more, he'll go do it. You want the true believers that are there because they're impassioned. There's nothing more important to them than communicating and sustaining their communities. And if we could teach legal people to do that, I would love to teach those people how to be the best bench they can and coach them and cheer them on to finding bigger and better ways to do stuff that even we can do.
That's wonderful. Thank you. And like I said, I'm glad you said that, because that's one of the things I was interested in before with you. So when that all comes together, we know what to do. All right. So
I had that in my notes for you. Yes, I did.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate you, Attorney Mike. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you for being a guest again. And if you're looking for the Dr. Meleeka Clary, you can Google me. You see that on the bottom. I'm so blessed. I said thank you, God, when I came in here. Thank you, God, for giving me another day to be able to do this show. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. See, I think I got discombobulated with the technical issues, but I always have to give thanks to God, because God has got me up to do this. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm a person just like everybody else. So I get sad, I get happy, I get confused. But one thing I will say, God will get you through it. And it's no bigger storm, but he will get you through it. And as much as I help people, I want everyone to know I do this because I want you to share and caring. And I felt like a disadvantage when someone didn't share information with me. If it was buying a house, yes, or in the entertainment industry, or not knowing the legal system, I didn't know. And someone did not tell me, and somebody took advantage of me. So I made an oath to myself. If I found out the information, I'm going to share it, and I'm not going to allow someone else to be taken advantage. If I can help them by saying what I can say to them, I might have to resource you out, but I will do that. But I remember when I needed information and how no one would really help me but take advantage of me because I did not know something. So when I do this and I share this information, I bring wonderful guests as Attorney Mike came on this platform, is because he's sharing his insights with you and information. There is someone to go to. There are people that's willing to help you, because that's what they want to do. It's in their passion for it. It's not about how much money they're getting for it. They're passionate about it. Okay. So with that being said, I want you to have a wonderful rest of the day and a wonderful weekend to come. Thank you for tuning into the Dr. Meleeka Clary Show, powered by Sweet Recordings. So, and with that being said, God bless and take care.